here, welcome back to another video. Good job, Yuki! Today I'm doing another video of me reacting to my subscribers' pet enclosures. So over on my pet Instagram, Soda Pets, I get a lot of DMs from people sending me their pet enclosures to review for these videos. Basically, I look at them and I tell them what they're doing well, or if there's some things they could change, I tell them what they could change. So I get a lot of DMs for a lot of different kinds of pet enclosures, but really I mainly stick to the ones that I actually have experience with, like fish, frogs, mice, axolotls, birds, turtles, and some other things. But mainly I stick to those ones, so if I don't respond to your snake enclosure or your guinea pig enclosure, it's because I don't have experience with them, so I don't review them. I'm sure there's some other YouTubers out there that make videos in those ones that you can talk to, but I won't respond to those ones because I don't feel I have enough experience to give my advice on those ones. I have shown like hamster and rat cages before, but I don't think I'll be doing that too often just because, again, although I know a lot about them, I still don't feel totally comfortable with giving information about them when I don't have experience with them. I just feel like that you kind of need to have real experience with a lot of animals to know more about them, you know. There's a lot of things that I learned while owning an animal that I didn't know before owning them, so just one of those things. So yeah, if you want to send me your enclosure, feel free to. I do these videos just every now and then, not super often, just kind of whenever. So this first one is an Can you hear Pip? That's the sound of her like moving her legs around on her basking platform, like stretching them out and hitting them on the floor. Alright, so this first one is an axolotl tank. You want to see it? Here you go. And I don't actually get sent axolotl tanks that often. But this one was sent to me. Looks really good, actually. Got a nice sponge filter in there. Is that real plants? I think they're all fake plants, but they look honestly really good. I actually like the look of those kind of fake plants, because honestly with axolotls it is kind of easier to have fake plants with them because axolotls don't like light and plants do like light, so there's not a lot of plants that do well in axolotl tanks, so the fake plants are fine. I do have Java moss in mine, which is like the only plant that has like survived my axolotl tank. Everything else I've tried in there, she's like pulled out from the sand, or it's just not done well because of the lighting in there. But Java moss I would recommend. But this tank looks really good. That leucistic axolotl looks super pretty. Wow, that axolotl is super long gills. They said that they have a water bowl in there because it was frozen to keep the temperature cold. You know, a lot of people do it, and I've done that before as well. But honestly, I've learnt that you have to be a bit careful with those because it can make your temperature unstable, which can stress out your axolotl. So make sure you are keeping an eye on the temperature when you're using frozen water bottles. And honestly, it might be better off to try and get a fan. You said that you can't afford a chiller, which I understand because they are so expensive. But you can actually get just like a normal little fan and have it towards your tank. Some people will instill them, or you can get ones that actually go above a tank, like they're made for aquariums, but you can also just use a regular disc fan and like aim it towards the water, and it actually makes a huge difference. Like you'll be surprised what a difference like a little fan can make. But that might be a good idea just to make it a bit easier to, you know, manage that temperature, because, you know, sometimes ice packs or frozen water bowls can make temperature quite unstable. And there is a hide in there as well. That black thing in the back is a hide, so that's good. You could probably put another hide in there if you wanted to, just to give them more options. But this does look like a really good tank. What are you doing, Pip? She's moving around in there. Alright, so this is a Budgie cage that was sent to me. It's got 2 budgies in there. This looks like it might be the same cage that used to be Yuki's cage before they got the big cage. So that's a really good cage for a couple of budgies. Looks like they got even those bar things in there. Those are so cute. I've never had any of my birds use those before. Okay, you've got natural perches in there, and they did say to me that this rope in here is sisal rope, so that's really good. In case you are unaware, cotton rope is dangerous to birds, but they said they've covered their cotton rope with sisal rope, and that's a really good idea. And also, what I really like about this cage is they have lots of handmade toys in here, which I think is super cool. So you can see in this picture, it looks like they're made out of toilet paper rolls and cardboard and some sisal rope, and that's a really great idea. I highly recommend if you're like on a budget or you're struggling to find some new toys, just make them out of like cardboard and safe rope like sisal rope and paper. Like with budgies and cockatiels, they love destroying like paper and cardboard, so it's a really good option for them. It looks like you've got a bowl just full of like paper shreddings in there, which honestly is such a good idea. They'll probably love to just pick out little bits of paper info from there and just play with it. I'm sorry about my birds, by the way. They're being a bit extra loud today for some reason. Now in this picture, it looks like you have the food bowls at the bottom of the cage. I'm not sure if that was just a temporary thing or something, but I would recommend that you put them higher, because the reason why food is usually put quite high in the cage is because being prey animals, they don't really like being on the ground. They feel kind of a bit unsafe on the ground, and they may be a bit scared to eat on the ground, so it's better to put it high so it feels like they're like somewhere safe in a tree or something, you know? Which is why they also like to sleep up high in their cage, because it feels safer. So I would recommend that, but this looks like a really good cage. Yeah, honestly, I really love the toys that you've made. I think it's a really good idea. Oh my god, those budgies are so cute! Oh, I love that color. That like yellow and blue one. Such a cool color. Okay, this one was sent to me like late December, and I only just saw it today. So I might be too late to respond to this. The thing is, I get a lot of DMs asking me for like urgent pet care, and I'm not a vet, and I honestly don't check my DMs that often, especially on my pet account. So I'm really not the best person to contact if you need some urgent pet care. You're best to contact an actual vet who can help you, you know, as soon as they can. Because I can't guarantee that I can help you through the internet, and I can't guarantee that I'm even going to see your message, because I don't really check them that often. So this person is asking me about their axolotl. They said it hasn't been eating, and it's already really skinny when they got it, and it has 2 gills on each side of its head. They're basically nubs. It was like that when I got it, but since it was the only one there, we got it. I don't know if I should find a way to put it down peacefully, or if there's anything you know that it could help it. Please let me know. It does this thing where it swims up to the bottom of the tank and blows like bubbles. I think they mean when they kind of swim up and gulp some air. That is normal to do it every now and then, but if they're doing it a lot, that could be something else. Yeah, that axolotl is incredibly skinny, and its gills look really bad. Is that even an axolotl, honestly? It just a little bit looks kind of like a tiger salamander larvae to me, but surely it's an axolotl, right? Well, first off, I definitely wouldn't recommend putting it down, because honestly, axolotls can come back from really rough situations like this. They just need care, you know, and I have seen worse. It does look really skinny and unwell, but I have actually seen worse, and I've seen axolotls come back from worse. I do think that there's hope for this axolotl, but since this is kind of an old message, I'm not sure what the situation is now. It was the 29th of December they sent this to me, so I hope he's doing okay. Did they get this from a pet store like this? Like, did a pet store really sell an axolotl in this condition? Like, that's crazy to me. But basically, I would say the best option to help this axolotl would be to tub it, put it in a plastic tub, keep it in a tub until it's better. That way you can give it daily water changes in a tub with fresh dechlorinated water, well as you can feed it in there and clean it up easier and know that it's eating and stuff like that. Because I honestly don't know what's wrong with it, but definitely, you know, it's so skinny. You can see its bones. I wish I could have a bit more info. This tank it's in looks good, but it is best to tub axolotls when they are sick like this, because it's a lot easier to give them those daily water changes and stuff like that, just in case water quality could be an issue as well. And if it's not eating, you can try different kinds of foods. You can try earthworms, rapashi grub pie, pellets, even try bloodworms and frozen brine shrimp. You could try live black worms. They did send me a picture of the food. This is actually good food. I did used to feed this to my axolotl before they stopped selling it here, so I don't know what country they're in, but I don't see this food very often. I don't feed them that anymore, but this is good food. But obviously, if the axolotl's not eating, then you're gonna have to try some different options. Try some treat food like bloodworms, you know, just honestly, like, yeah, because axolotls can go a really long time without eating, but this one definitely needs some help. You could also put some Indian almond leaf in the water. Indian almond leaf has natural healing properties, so it might help a little bit. This isn't really an enclosure review, I know, I'm just kind of giving advice, but you know, I just thought I would anyway. It's kind of hard also to respond to DMs with like a text telling them what to do, because I feel like I can't give as much information as I can if I'm actually talking to them, you know? So I hope you do see this, and I hope you can update me and let me know how it goes. If you're ever in the situation where your animal's sick and maybe you can't contact a vet because you don't have an exotic vet or something, you know, best thing you can do is go into Facebook groups, because surprisingly, I know it's Facebook, like, ugh, but surprisingly, they can actually be really helpful, like if you actually need some like desperate help. Honestly, I wouldn't recommend you go and DM like pet YouTubers, because a lot of pet YouTubers get a lot of DMs and it's hard for them to look at all of them and they can't respond immediately. That's just my tip to you guys out there if you need any advice. But obviously if it's, you know, something urgent and you have an exotic vet near you, best thing would be to call them. Okay. This is a... Is this a goldfish? No, wait, is it a molly? Hang on. They said the fish's name is Molly, but I don't know if it is a molly, you know? Like a molly fish. So they said it's 1 year old, which is kind of unbelievable. Sorry, I don't mean to be mean. I think this is a molly, so I'm gonna give advice on a molly, if it is a molly, because I think it's a molly. So mollies are social, like schooling fish, so you have to actually have multiple together for them to be happy. So I would recommend a 10-gallon tank. That would be enough for you to put probably about 3 or 4 mollies in there. So they don't need like super big tanks, but 10 gallons definitely would be much better than this tank, and that way you can add some more friends in there. They're also tropical fish, so depending on where you live, the temperature needs to be at least 25-ish degrees Celsius. You know, they're pretty hardy, so they can handle if it's a bit less or a bit more. But if your temperature is not at that, like all the time, then you're probably going to need to get a heater to keep it stable, as well as a filter. That doesn't look like there's any filter in this tank either, so you do need to have a filter. It is honestly really surprising that your fish survived in that for a long time. I'm not trying to be mean, I'm just being honest, okay? It is surprising. So yeah, I would recommend like a filter, a heater, maybe some live plants, you know. It's always good for the tank to have some live plants, as well as make sure your tank's recycled too. You don't want to put your fish through any shock going into a new home, you know? Wow. Okay. Why are you being so loud, Tofu? That hurt my ears. But yeah, that tank definitely is very small. I wouldn't recommend this kind of tank for any fish, honestly. Maybe a shrimp. Maybe a snail. But not a fish. Honestly, I wouldn't even want to put a shrimp in there, but you know. I don't know what... I don't know why I saved this for the video. I just saw it in my DMs and I thought it was funny, so I thought I would share it. Oh, and I do think my cat's fat. I do care if it is. Pictures of cat. I don't know. Alright, here's another tag. I think I have the same things to say about the other one, but this one actually I think wasn't theirs. Let me find the message again. Oh yeah, they said it's like their friend who's babysitting some fish. So I guess they can't really control that, but maybe their friend can try. But I guess I'll review it anyway. But it's a jar with a betta fish in it. This is like the tanks you see on TikTok. Can't fit a filter in here. You can't fit a heater in there. You could at least have some live plants. I mean, come on. Yeah, I mean, the minimum for a betta I'd recommend is 5 gallons, and jars, nah, no jars allowed. You're banned. Get rid of it. Hey, at least there's no SpongeBob ornaments in this one though. That's a plus. This one I'd give a 1 out of 10. Yeah, I mean, honestly, this person, I mean, it's not even their tank, so I guess I don't know if they can even do much to help that, but it's an unfortunate situation when people you see have bad tanks and you kind of don't know what to say about it. Like, it's really hard to tell people, like, face to face, especially if they're like your family, to tell them change the tank. I've done that before, and usually I go about it in a kind of, you know, a nice sort of way, like, hey, maybe you should add this, or maybe you should do this, or I saw this, or I tried this with my fish and they really appreciate it, you know? It's really hard though. A lot of people don't take criticism very well, so it's really hard. You have to kind of know them and know how to say it in a way that doesn't offend them, you know? Because some people get so offended by just people trying to help them. But, so I hope you or your friend does try to help, but I understand it can be hard to sometimes, yeah, it's pretty bad. Okay, oh my god, this angle is so bad. I'm coming in from the future because I wanted to show this tank that I think I meant to show in my last video of this, but I completely forgot, and I've been saving them, and then I almost forgot to do it in this video, but I was like, oh my god, I need to edit this in because I really want to show this really cool tank. So this is a 40-gallon axolotl setup with 2 axolotls, a wild type and a black melanoid. And this setup is so cool. This is like goals. Plus 40 gallons, awesome size for 2 axolotls. Look at the setup. Look at this. So cool. I love the little hammock you have there. I kind of want to try one of those for my axolotl. I love the big pieces of driftwood, the plants, the Java fern, I think that is, which also do well in axolotl tanks actually, I forgot to mention. They do alright. They don't grow super well, but they survive and they do fine. Look at this though. This is so cool. Those axolotls Look how beautiful and chunky they are. I wonder if you breed them then, because I think that looks like a male and female. This one looks like a boy. I think the melanoid is a boy with that bulge over there. The wild type, definitely a big chunky girl. So I wonder if you breed them, but oh my god, they're so beautiful. These are some beautiful looking axolotls. Cute. I don't have anything to add to this tank. I just want to show it because it looks so amazing. I also always love me some wild type axolotl appreciation. I feel like they don't get enough love, so you know. Great tank, beautiful axolotls. Thanks for sharing your setup. Okay, back to the video. Okay, so this is a Budgie, Cockatiel cage, sorry. They said they don't have much experience with cockatiels, but they do have experience with budgies, and they wanted some advice. The cage looks like a really good size. They said that these are rescue and like keeping a very small cage outside, so that's awesome that you rescued them. It's really cool that you did that. So definitely there's some things I would add here. First of all, get rid of the happy hut. Get rid of it, burn it, destroy it, set fire to it, kill it, do all of that. So I actually made like a whole video talking about things that are bad for birds, and one of the biggest things was happy huts. Because happy huts can cause a lot of issues in birds. First big thing is that they can be ingested. The fibers of happy huts can be ingested and get stuck in your bird's crop, which can kill them, and has happened before several times, as well as their feet can get tangled in like the threads that the happy huts are made out of. That can be a horrible situation, but also they can cause hormonal aggression, because something like this kind of represents like a nest. So make your bird hormonal, and that will make them aggressive and basically sexually frustrated. Best to get rid of that. There's really no need for those. I hate them. I feel like they should not be sold. I think they're just like a death trap, and I just hate that pet stores still sell them because they're awful. But yeah, so definitely get rid of that. I would also recommend that you get rid of the dowels in your cage and replace it with some natural perches, because dowels can cause bumblefoot and sores on their feet. So natural perch is definitely a lot better for them. I would keep an eye on that cotton perch as well, because cotton, well, I think that's cotton. It looks like it is a cotton perch. Keep an eye on that because cotton can also be ingested, and they can chew at the fibers on there. So either take it out or keep an eye on it, or you can cover it with like vet tape or like Cecil. We saw someone else do, they covered theirs with Cecil. Best to do that. Otherwise you can just keep an eye on it every day, like check on it, make sure they're not eating it. But yeah, you can definitely fit a lot in here. You can definitely put quite a few natural perches in there, and definitely get some foraging toys. You know, cockatiels love destroying things like paper and cardboard. You could also make some too if you wanted to, but I'll give some examples of like some good ones you can get. It's always good to have some entertaining things for them to do in the cage, like while you're not home and stuff like that. So yeah, but this is a good sized cage, and I think it's really cool that you rescued them. Maybe it's just empty because you only just got them. Maybe you just haven't had added stuff yet. I don't know, but I hope my advice could help you anyway. Okay, this is so cool. Oh my god. What? Oh my god, they have an aviary in their room. This is goals. This is goals right here. So it's a bird cage for their 2 green-cheeked parakeets. This is so cool. I want to live here. So it looks like maybe someone custom built this for your bird, which is just awesome. This is so cool, honestly. I don't have any criticism to add because this is so impressive. I would totally do this if I had the space. I definitely want to do this once I get my own house because this is awesome. Good job, because this is so impressive. I love the little, like, it looks like you even made these like stands for them here. I don't know much about green cheek parakeets, by the way, but I just wanted to say this is a really cool aviary. It's not even a cage, it's like an aviary, indoor aviary. Alright, I think I'm gonna end the video here, guys. Lots of interesting enclosures today. Thank you guys so much for sending me your enclosures to review, and I hope you guys know that I'm never trying to be hateful in any way. I'm always just trying to give advice, and I hope I don't come across as like too critical. Obviously that's the point of this video, to be critical, but you know, I try to be critical in a nice way, because I understand sometimes we all need a bit of criticism in a good way, you know. And yeah, I hope I could help you guys with your enclosures. I'm sorry if I couldn't get to all of my DMs. I do get quite a lot, and then they get kind of flooded and I don't see them all, so I probably missed quite a few. But feel free to send me your enclosures if you want me to review them in my next video. If you have anything you want to add that I might have missed in my video, feel free to comment down below. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!